Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, a really unexpected corner of medical history. We're talking about botulinum. Yes, that botulinum, but specifically how it's detailed in William Boericke's Homeopathic Materia Medica. And what's really intriguing, right, is the origin story in the source. It connects it back to food poisoning from canned spinach, of all things. Quite the start for something so, potent.
It really is. And for you, our listener, this deep dive should hopefully illuminate the incredibly precise ways this toxin hits the body. Boericke gives us what he calls a clinical picture suggested in a bulbar paresis, which is basically a detailed snapshot. It shows how this stuff attacks the brainstem's nerve pathways, the ones controlling crucial things like swallowing, breathing. So our mission today, let's dissect that specific clinical picture he presents for you.
Yeah, and here's where it gets really interesting for me. The sheer range of symptoms described. Some seem almost, counterintuitive, like the eyes, for example. Boericke points right to ptosis. That's a real drooping of the eyelids. And also double vision, blurred vision. It's not just fuzzy sight, is it? It feels very targeted. What is it about those specific eye symptoms that screams botulinum?
That's a great point. What's fascinating here is how those symptoms, they immediately signal a very specific kind of neurological issue. It's not like, say, a general stroke effect. Botulinum, it zeroes in on the nerves controlling eye movement, the lid function. It gives it this unique sort of signature. And that selectivity, noticed way back then, really shows its targeted action. Kind of ironic, actually, how modern medicine now uses that same precision therapeutically. Tiny doses, of course.
Right. Okay, so beyond the eyes, there are these severe impacts on, vital functions. The source mentions difficulty in swallowing and breathing.
Yeah.
And often this really scary choking sensation. That sounds terrifying. What's the connection there neurologically? Why those functions specifically?
Well, these are absolutely critical disruptions. They really highlight how the toxin messes with the body's core automatic processes, the ones we just don't think about. Swallowing, breathing, they just happen, right? So when they're impaired, it tells you there's a deep attack on the autonomic nervous system. That's the part keeping us running without us, consciously trying.
And moving on from those automatic things, the text also flags effects on movement, coordination, things like weakness and uncertainty in walking. And it uses this amazing phrase, blind staggers. That really captures it, doesn't it? That kind of disoriented stumbling when your balance control is shot. Plus, dizziness and a very noticeable thickening of speech.
Yeah, and connecting those motor issues, the speech problems, it really underlines the widespread neuromuscular disruption. It's not just one muscle group here or there. It's the whole communication system, nerve to muscle that lets us move smoothly, speak clearly. It definitely paints a picture of a profound attack on the whole motor system.
Okay, and then there are the symptoms you might not immediately link to a neurotoxin affecting the brainstem. Things like cramping pain in stomach and severe constipation.
Right. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it just shows how systemic botulinum really is. It hits not just the muscles we control, but also the smooth muscles, like in the digestive tract. Oh, and adding to that picture, the source actually mentions a mask-like expression of face. That's from facial muscle weakness, and it fits perfectly with everything else we're seeing neurologically. It does make you wonder, doesn't it? Thinking about the patients, the doctors back then, seeing all this without our modern lens must have been quite a mystery.
Absolutely, it's a profound mystery. Finally, the source does briefly touch on dose, higher potencies. Now, for anyone not familiar with homeopathic ideas, that means incredibly diluted forms, which is, kind of fascinating given how potent the raw toxin is. But it seems to highlight Boericke's focus was really on the pattern of symptoms, whatever the dose. So what does this all mean for you listening? It means this deep dive into Boericke shows a single toxin having this incredibly specific yet wide-ranging impact from your eyes right down to your gut, all potentially from some bad canned spinach.
And that really raises an important question, I think, for you to consider. Given this really specific, really debilitating set of symptoms, what does that tell us about how intricately vulnerable our bodies are, how interconnected, especially when facing such a potent, targeted toxin like this one? It's kind of a surprising precision, isn't it? How something so harmful can pinpoint its attack so accurately.